Welcome to story time. So, as many of you know, I was diagnosed with cancer. Obviously. So, this is part one of multiple stories that I'm going to be telling based all on my journey between December 2019 to present day. And what I'm about to tell you, this story is basically a prologue that sets up everything. So, just keep that in mind. I'm going to try to say as many dates as possible so I can get this as accurate as possible, as my first try wasn't exactly accurate. So, it was August 2018. I had woken up out of bed and I was ready to get out and start my summer day without going to school because it was the middle of summer. So anyway, I had woken up and something was a little off. My entire chin, from here all the way going up, coming back down right here, was completely numb. Everything about that was completely numb. I could not feel a single thing. So, I went downstairs and I told my mother that my chin was numb. And first thing that happened was she threw out a bunch of wild ideas like, oh, maybe you slept on it funny. Oh, did you bang it into something the day before? All the answers to that were no. So, she told me to just wait a day or two and it would probably go away. So, that's what I did. I waited a day or two, and some of it went away. Some of it. Only half of my chin was now numb. This half, my left half of my chin, was numb. So, because we'd given it a few days, and half of it was numb, not even the full thing anymore, we went to a local doctor to get it checked out. And she said that it was a little strange, and she didn't know why it was like that. So she sent us to a different doctor who took another look at it, and, well, we got nothing out of that. They couldn't figure it out. So, we went to a wisdom teeth surgeon because maybe a wisdom tooth was on a vein or something. No. Nothing. Nada. Zilch. Nothing came out of that except for a big waste of time. So, we took one final stop, and that would be a neurologist. A neurologist, if I understand correctly, they are all about nerves and transfer to the brain. That's what neuro means. It's brain, I believe. So we went to the neurologist and I got an MRI. I got an MRI and the pictures didn't show anything except for this. Anyway, nothing happened. There was nothing. It had been a few months, or 1 or 2, because of the fact that all of those visits took place over the course of 2 months. So it had been a month after, and my mother noticed something. So at the time I was trying to lose a lot of weight, as pretty sure a lot of people are. So I had been constantly losing weight. I had been portioning my food. I had been eating smaller amounts. I had been exercising a ton. So she was like, oh yeah, he's losing a ton of weight. That's completely entirely natural. There was one thing that she noticed that was a little bit off. And that was that every area on my body was shrinking in fat except for one place. And that would be my abdomen, or basically the midsection that connects your legs to your rib cage. Basically, that entire section is the abdomen. So she pushed down on it, and you know how when you push down on flesh like that, it's supposed to cave in, right? Because it's squishy flesh. I mean, is that kind of what it's supposed to do? Anyway, she pushed down on it, and it did not cave in like it's supposed to. And it had this weird texture to it. And it was very hard, almost like it was filled up. Kind of like a, if you fill up a balloon with beads and maybe some water. It kind of felt like that, except it felt like it was a lot overfilled, I guess you could say. It felt a lot bigger than it should have been, if that makes sense. So we went back to the first doctor that we saw for the case, and she sent me over to a hospital to get a CT scan. And let me just tell you, it was not a pleasant experience. I had to drink a ton of contrast. It tastes pretty much like chalk water. And then I had an IV, and there was more contrast put through there. It was not very fun, but it was necessary. So we were sent to that hospital, and after a few hours of waiting, drinking contrast, and getting the scan done, they reviewed the scan, and it showed a huge mass. Kind of like a, now that I'm actually thinking about it, it was kind of like the shape of a WWE belt. After that, they sent that off to a different facility to get that reviewed, and the aftermath was that I had the possibility of that ginormous mass being cancerous. And I'm going to stop it there. Now, I'm probably going to continue this story. I just don't want to cram too much into one place. And I want to be as descriptive as possible, as I can't really describe an experience by doing a vague timeline, if that makes any sense. I can't tell my entire story in 5 minutes without cutting out details. For example, this was my diagnosed date, I guess you could say. Speaking of, my actual diagnosed date was November 30th, 2018. I almost said 2019. Well, decade, because it all blends together. Just get rid of the decade. Doesn't matter anymore. It's 2020. What is next on this type of series? I guess you could call it a series. I'm going to be talking about exactly what happens next. Starting exactly from where I left off. That is what is going to be next. Hit the like button, because it really helps out the channel and I really appreciate it. But if you really, really want to help out the channel, gotta press that subscribe button for more videos. And I will see you in the next one.